Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovation. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for mental stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now.
Rockers Movement presents the 2021 Miami Reggae Festival, healing the community with sound system culture. Saturday, August 7th and Sunday, August 8th, featuring from Germany, Warrior Sound International, the Immortal King Champion Sound from Kingston, Jamaica, Stone Love, Brooklyn's Champion Sound, King Addies International, from New York, the Champion Sound, Soul Supreme, from Jamaica, way out in the country, it's Bass Odyssey, Downbeat the Ruler from New York City, Poison Dart from Tampa, and the Miami Ruler for years, King Waggy T, the Sound of the Future, Adonai, On Track Disco, DJ Rocksteady, and many more. Hosted by dub poet icon Motomaruka at the 2021 Miami Reggae Festival, celebrating Jamaica's Independence Weekend. Saturday, August 7th and Sunday, August 8th at the brand new RER Marketplace next to the Opalaka Flea Market. Tickets start at $25. For more info, visit MiamiReggaeFestival.com or call 305-900-5523. Celebrate Jamaica's independence and sound system culture at the 2021 Miami Reggae Festival.
Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovation. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for mental stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now.
That we all should try to live our life the best way that we can. So I know we only have one life to live, and we have to live it. We don't stop on negative vibes. You won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life. Oh yeah, only have one life to live. We gotta live it. No demons try to negative vibes. You gonna make it. No matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life. Any way you I want the whole world to be the best. But we often try to live our life the best way that we can. So I know we only have one life to live. And we got to live it. No demons try on negative vibes. 'Cause you won't make it. No matter what they say, you should always try to live a positive life. Try to live a positive life. Try to live a positive life. Anyway, yeah. Oh, we always have one life to live. We have to live. We always have one life to live. We have to live it.
Yes, family. Yes, family. Yes, family. It's your brother King Simon going through some stuff. Of course, of course, of course, of course, of course. Just want to let everybody know that tonight we're going to be speaking to a very special individual, brother, that I've been checking out for many years, and he's been doing his thing. Of course, didn't know he was running in certain circles, especially in VP Records and all that, because I was one of them people. So I know what it is. Used to do a lot of VP showcases and a lot of big shows with VP back in the day. So I didn't know this brother was a part of that. Also, we're going to deal with music, religion, and spirituality with brother Zion LEXX. Don't forget, tomorrow we have a special guest that's coming in tomorrow named Sacred Secret, entrepreneur and transformational coach. And she will be in the building at 9 o'clock tomorrow. And then don't forget, family, I will be in GA. As a matter of fact, next Wednesday, we have a inspirational speaker and motivational speaker coming in. Her name is Alicia Dowie. She'll be coming in from out of Florida, but that's on the 23rd. And then on the 27th, I will be speaking in Atlanta. I will definitely do the full flyers for her, but I will be speaking in Atlanta live and direct at Alta Candy. I'll be one of the special guest speakers, so I can't wait for that. And right now I'm going through some technical difficulties, but it's all good. I'm still going to go do what I got to do. My other computer is not up and running, but it's all good. And I'm going to come in just like this. Of course, your brother is in the building right now. I hope y'all are feeling good. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's keep the applause. I have to get my other applause button, but it is what it is. And of course, remember to support Carbon Royalty. Support Carbon Royalty, Cash App, that's $ King Simon 3158. And of course, that's PayPal, paypal.me/King Simon. Let me bring on my vibes, my dear Empress, the one, the only Empress, Aisha Amor. What's up, Aisha? How you doing, girl? You're on mute. How you doing? You're on mute.
Doing great.
There you go. How you feeling? You all right?
Yes.
That's good.
How about you?
I'm chilling. I am chilling like a villain, but it's a righteous villain.
Okay, I like that.
I got the righteous villain. It's like verification villain. Let me stop playing. But I'm glad that you're able to make it. And of course, how's your family? Everybody all right?
Yes, everyone is good. How are you? Your family, how's mom's doing?
Oh, mom's is good so far that I know. She's doing her thing. You know, she's always gardening and doing her thing. So I'm proud of her. She keeps herself working. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she loves to garden, man. She knows how to grow things, man. And she got the green thumb. I got the brown thumb.
Anytime I stick my hand in something that turns into doo-doo. So
Oh no.
I got I'm just saying.
You got the entertainment thumb.
I got the green thumb, but I can develop this green thumb. I remember one time she left me. She told me to come and check her house and make sure I check on her plants. Lord have mercy, one of the plant them dead. They dropped dead. And when she come back, she just did something with the plant, and they just started blooming again. I'm like, let's see, this is what I'm talking about. See, she done messed my whole soul up with that one. So it is what it is. Tonight we got a special guest. Tonight we got a brother that's coming up, and I got his website up here, and I see that his bio is up in here. So hold on one second. Let me just back that up. So when we do bring him in, we are focused now. Hold on one second. There he goes. Okay, so we got Brother Zion LEXX that's coming in. He says, my journey into the Israelite community began 27 years ago at the age of 14 with 3 of my closest friends, who are all brothers, introduced me to this way of life. I started off at a temple in Brooklyn, New York, known as the Beth Ab Shalom, and a temple with direct lineage to Rabbi Matthew's commandments keepers in Harlem. At this time, I choose the Hebrew name Avidel ben Levi. From there, I moved to the temple of Shama Yisrael, where I became a teacher, joined the ranks of an order of young men known as the SOG, the acronym for Sons of God. And by the year 1997, I also became a contributing writer to the Shema Israel monthly newspaper entitled The Third Eye News. At this time, I was also a student and joined John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York City, where I later graduated and even obtained a New York State EMT paramedic certification. After years of teaching and doing community service, I went back to college, and this time at Toro College, where I studied Hebrew language and biblical history. I then went on to publish a total of 5 more books, with 3 currently pending, due to be released soon. I've partnered recently with New York City Metropolitan Museum of Art, where I've hosted half a dozen museum tours, lectures to date, where I employ my knowledge of history, culture, and ancient language to demonstrate my views and points. I offer a beginner's class on the biblical Hebrew, as well as Meduneter, also known as hieroglyphics. My official title held in the community I hail from New York City is Mora, meaning teacher, and Rosh, meaning chief. Without any further ado, we want to welcome the one, the only Zion LEXX in the building. Let's give him a well-deserved round of applause for Zion LEXX in the building. Zion! I'm trying to add him to the stream.
Check.
Check. Oh, there you go. How you doing, brother?
Check. I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm having a little computer glitch, but we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you loud and clear. And shout out and peace and love to Empress. I see you. Empress Aisha, I see you.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Greetings, Zion.
How you been, brother?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Good. Welcome to the platform. Of course, welcome to the platform for the first time. I know you've been on big platforms, so I know you ain't new to this. You're true to this.
Absolutely, man. But it's an honor to be here, my brother. It's definitely an honor to be here.
You know, like David Levy used to say, I'm not new to this, I'm true to this, bro. And that's an old friend of mine. So we go back. And first of all, I want to shout out the business, of course. I want to let everybody know, if you want to support Brother Zion LEXX, of course, he's a published author, celebrity mentor, and museum tour guide and public speaker. You can spread love via Cash App at $Zion LEXX and PayPal ZionLEXX@gmail. Just use that Gmail page. And don't forget, his website is up and running strong. Make sure you go to ZionLEXX.com. That's ZionLEXX.com, and his link tree Linktree is /Zion LEXX. Make sure you support whatever the brother's doing, whatever he's teaching, whatever he's bringing to the table, because everything counts and everything is pertinent and important for our community. First and foremost, Zion, our journey kind of mixed and mingled back in the day as far as music is concerned. And I wanted to start off there because you come from a family of people that are into the music. And a lot of people may not know that. You may have probably touched on it because you've been in just more debates and more discussion on history and language, but nobody knows that you had a musical journey, and your father is also part of a musical legacy and journey also. Tell the audience where your family is from and what led you into the music back in the day, of course, when you was into it.
All right. So both my parents are from the Caribbean. With roots that go into Guyana as well as Jamaica. My dad immigrated from the Caribbean into New York, and he moved into the Bronx as well as Brooklyn. My dad attended Erasmus High School in Flatbush.
Me too.
Oh yeah, Erasmus High School, and he's born in '56, so I'm not sure the age difference.
Oh, well, I'm born 67. I'm 67. So he's like 10, 11 years older than me.
So you more like my uncle age. So absolutely. So, he went to Erasmus, and, this is the early 70s, right? The early 70s. And then from there, he went to the Army. My mother at that time, she left the Caribbean. She was in Guyana, and she went to Canada. And then eventually she made her way to New York as well, where she met up with my dad, and then the rest is history. My father also attended Medgar Evers College.
Medgar
Evers College in the 80s. I can remember one of my earliest experiences of learning how to swim was almost drowning in Medgar Evers College.
Yeah, it's swimming pool. Yes, sir. They have the swimming pool there. That's right.
And if anybody remembers anything about that era, this is 80s Brooklyn, right? Yes. So in the 80s, my father would drive cab in the late nights and during the day, but on the weekends he would play out. You know what I'm saying? He had his own sound system, and he played at several places. Biltmore Ballroom, Starlight. All these big dances. We lived, of all places, in Vanderveer.
I didn't live too far from there. That's for sure.
Yeah. And if you remember, Brooklyn in the 80s, Vanderveer was no joke.
No joke.
No joke. I have another blood relative that came out of Vanderveer. He's known as DJ Rondon. In the 90s, they used to call him Reggae Mixtape King.
Oh, okay. Who you talking about?
When you wanted to hear all of the new, Beanie, Bounty, Cobra, any of the hottest dancehall artists, you definitely went and got yourself a CD that my cousin produced. His name was DJ Rondon. So he actually used to do parties at the Ark. He used to have a year-to-year birthday party at the Ark, even before the Ark was in East New York.
That's right, before when it was on Snyder.
That's right.
Over Snyder and over there behind Sears.
That's right, behind Sears. So the history goes a long time, man. So
oh yeah. I performed there. I know that place very well.
Oh yeah, very well, man. So I became musically inclined at a very young age because of my father. I even have a picture where I'm really, really young, and you see me rocking like headphones, and I got my hand on the turntable. I'm talking about the original turntable, not like the new Serato stuff that they got today. I'm talking about the technique with the big arm and the little penny on top of the needle to keep it down. You know what I mean?
I know if you know what type of mixer did you have. That's what I need to know, because I know the mixers now.
Damn, I can't remember. If anything, I think it was a Gemini, but I don't remember which series.
Gemini was one of them. Newmark was one of them. Yeah, those are the main ones. Definitely. Yeah.
I know for a fact that he had a Gemini mixer. I just can't remember which series, man. But that was my musical journey. That's where I started. And then remember, again, coming up in Flatbush was like mini Jamaica or mini Caribbean. Yeah, right. Back then, as long as you had an accent, no matter what island you came from, everybody assumed you was Jamaican. Right? You know, so being in Flatbush, Brooklyn in the 80s, you know, there was a heavy Caribbean influence. You saw it in the food, you saw it in the clothing, right?
Yeah.
We would come out and we would dress in the mesh marina.
Yeah.
The mesh marina shirt, the travel fox.
That's right. That's right. The British, the British walkers and all them.
That's a fact. But when my father come inside the house at night after being in a party, you know what he coming in the house with? He coming in the house with a Benzie box. You know, that was a portable radio for those of y'all who might be a little younger. It was known as a Benzie box. So, you know, I got a lot of history, man. And, you know, I give a lot of respect for my father for having a strong Caribbean root and a strong Caribbean vibe. You know, as I got older, I began to venture out with my uncle. My uncle formed his own sound called Supertone.
Supertone.
Right? Supertone. There's a Supertone back in Jamaica too, but he had one here in the Bronx, here in New York City. And he used to play at clubs like, remember Act 3?
Of course, I know Nick. I remember Nick, the late great Nick. I performed there too. I performed there.
All right, so I'm 42. So put me in the early 90s, like 95. I'm only 16, so that means I'm not supposed to be in Act 3.
No, you're not supposed to be in Act 3.
But back then, y'all know how it worked. If you carry in a crate with records, well, guess who's coming in Act 3 tonight? Me.
Exactly. You
know what I mean? So that's how we came in. That's how we came in, not being checked by security, you know, as far as our age. And that's how, you know, I learned to mix. And I also learned the club scene. You know what I mean? I also met some amazing DJs. I met Tony Screw from Downbeat.
I'm a brethren.
Oh yeah, man. Big Bronx sound. Jawise from Tippertone.
Jawise, yes.
You know, these are big legendary Bronx sounds. You know, later on we linked up with a sound called King Barker.
King Barker, I know King Barker.
You know, the first time I ever heard a Bounty Killer dub plate was from King Barker. King Barker had a sound way up on Gun Hill Road, and that's the first time I ever hear Bounty Killer on a track. The year is like 1993.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, you know, following suit with all of this, man, I'm beginning now to make my own way. Fast forward now, I'm a little bit more advanced in age, right? I'm in my 30s, early 30s. And I meet up with a guy called Johnny Wonder.
That's my brethren. He recorded my second album.
Small world, right?
The Italian. He born November the 19th.
Oh, yeah. So, you know, Johnny Wonder come from East 21st, or what we say, 21st.
Yeah, I know. Right? Italian dude. Yeah,
that's right. In Flatbush, that part of East Flatbush 21st Street, we used to say 2 first, shoot first.
That's right. I knew them guys.
I mean? So it was a tough area. So when I met Johnny Wonder, is because I was working with a new female artist. And this segues into how I came into VP.
Who's the artist?
Her name is Sheba Salamariam. She is the great-granddaughter of Emperor Haile Selassie.
Yes.
She has a song with Bounty Killer called Love This Lifetime.
Hey, stick up in. You know the song that I started with on my show?
Yes.
Johnny Wonder is the one who produced that.
Get out of here, man.
We recorded it at Jammy Studio in Jamaica.
Oh my God, man. So
if you call, let me tell you, Brian, let me tell you how deep this was, because my computer went out and I usually play a lot of upbeat music, but I had to go to my old cassette deck and pull that out, and that's the first thing that came up. That whole album on that cassette, Johnny Wonder flew me into Jamaica, and we stayed at the Wyndham Hotel, and we went into Waterhouse. I was visiting my family also, but we went into Waterhouse and recorded the whole album within 2 days, 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, Johnny Wonder, man.
Yeah, Johnny's my boy. Johnny's my boy. He had his gun. He always have his gun on top of him there.
That's a fact, man. Respect to King Jammy's, man. One thing I never been to Jammy's studio personally, but I know a lot of people have been to Jammy's studio personally. Oh, yeah. One thing I know is that aside from going inside the studio and being moved at what I would call a lot of the updated equipment that you don't normally see in Jamaican studios, right? Jamie
Right.
is so accomplished, you know, as a producer that when you
Yes,
walk
right.
into a jamming studio, it's like walking into a New York studio, right? Because he has state-of-the-art equipment. Everything is up to date. But the thing that most of us that really, really know King Jamming Studio, the thing that you would definitely walk home talking about or go home talking about is all the gunman in the gate that you're gonna pass through
Everybody
before you
is
get
a
in the
kid.
studio.
Exactly. Everybody is a kid. How are
You
you?
know what I
How
mean?
are you? How
Who
are you?
you? Who you?
Yeah.
You know,
Yo.
and to speak of jammies, right? That's where Bounty Killer got his break,
Yep. That's where Bounty
right?
Killer got his break.
In 1991, Bounty Killer put out a song called Copper Shot.
Yes. Yes.
But
He
the
did.
song really wasn't buzzing at the time. You know what I mean? They was having a trouble giving it a push. So Johnny Wonder take the song Copper Shot and put it on side B of an already moving, you know, a record that was already moving in the dance hall. So what happened is now, when the people go to play the record that everybody was loving on side A, they flip it over at the end to side B, and now everybody know Copper Shot by Bounty Killer. So that's how Bounty Killer bust. To this day, one of the things I respect about Bounty Killer is he's a man that would always give respect to those who paved the way. So this Italian, this white man, Johnny Wonder, he responds for Bounty Killer career. You know what I mean? And Bounty Killer, the warlord, gives him a lot of respect, you know. So again, the first time I met Johnny Wonder was working with Sheba, right? So
I
Sheba,
gotta show you something first before you go.
okay.
Before you go there,
All
I
right.
gotta show you that in front. I'm gonna show you something. You're gonna say, "Oh shit!" You're gonna say, "In front." This is the album. This is the song with me, Simon Templar, on it. One Life to Live, jamming.
Mm.
And on the other side, who you think who you think was on the A side? Who you think was on the A side?
Oh God. Oh.
Capotan, God Me Love.
Oh wow.
I was on
Wow.
Capotan. So me and Capotan was label mates back in the day.
Nice. Nice. Nice, man. That's real history, man.
I can't make this up.
That's real history, man. That's real history, man.
Yeah, but I just wanted, because you said jammers and they used to put us on the flip side. So I wasn't a reputable artist, but Capotan was. So they put me on the B side and they put him on the A side. I can't make this.
Was that before Capotan became a Rasta, or?
That's before Capotan was just before, because remember that's God Me Love. I mean I love Satan.
That's
that
right.
Was he became a Rasta.
That's Coca-Cola Baco shit, Capotan.
yes, and that's where
that was when Capotan had a lot of slackness lyrics. He was a DJ back then. Yeah.
So yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut your wisdom. Talk about
no
Sheba.
problem. No problem, man. So when I met Sheba, you know, I was very moved by her history. You know, me being an Israelite and her being a living descendant of Emperor Haile Selassie, who also traces his lineage back to King Solomon. We immediately had a great connection, right? You know, I went to her residence, which is off of like 42nd and 2nd Avenue. If you're familiar with that area, that's an area where people who mostly work for United Nations live.
Yes.
So her mom and her dad are retired United Nations officials.
Diplomats. That's right. They was all
diplomats. So you know what Selassie was very intelligent to do. He put many of his family members in political positions throughout the globe, because he also had family members that was part of the European or UK cabinet as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we met. And then I remember one day she said, "Yo, man, I need you to go carry some money to a guy that I owe some money, man. Me and him are supposed to be doing GT what's his name, man? GT Christmas show in Jamaica. GT Taylor.
GT Taylor, yeah,
GT Taylor. Yeah. She said, "Yo, I need you to go carry some money to this guy, man. This guy that I know got me on GT Taylor's Christmas show, and I owe him some money from since, you know, a couple months ago. I need you to go carry it." So I said, "Oh, no problem. Who is it?" She said, Johnny Wonder. I said, oh, shit. Because, you know, as quiet as it's kept at that time, I was a little knucklehead trying to build a name for myself. And I remember butting heads with Johnny Wonder a little bit online. We had clashed a little bit. So when she tell me that I'm going to be the one to go bring him the money, I said, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. Because remember, whether Johnny is a short, chubby white guy from Italy or not, this is the same Johnny Wonder that went to jail for murder.
Yes, right.
Let's not forget that. So Johnny Wonder was also a gunman too.
Yes, he was.
Right?
He put many guns around me all the time, man.
All the time. And I could go into more history, but I'm gonna be kind.
Yeah.
But Johnny Wonder is the real deal, we're gonna say.
He's the real deal.
You know, so I pulled up on his house, man, and we both laughed. When he realized it was me, we just both laughed. You know, it turned out to be a dope moment for us. And I remember from that day on saying to myself that, man, I really wanted to work with VP. So at that time, I was very, very close friends for over 15, almost 18 years at that time with Tanya Lawson from VP Records.
Yes, I remember Tanya.
The A&R, right?
Of course.
So Tanya used to take me to all of the basements. Remember the radio stations in New York City when it comes to the underground radio stations. A lot of people don't realize that in the city of New York, that's a literal thing. When we say underground radio station, that shit is literal. Because I can remember going at one time in East New York to one of them underground stations where we tap our foot on the floor and the gate opened from the floor and we going downstairs. That was the first night that I met TOK. Right? TOK was in there recording and VP was promoting them. This is when TOK was signed to VP. Right. So they was doing a run and VP was taking them to various places. So, you know, through Tanya Lawson, I met a lot of amazing people, man. One of the amazing people I met during that time, God bless his memory, is our brother Tree Reed.
My brother Tree, one of my promotional brothers. Part of the promotion. He promoted from the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, everywhere.
Tree was everywhere, man. Everywhere. He stood at like a towering 6'5", right? He got to be like 6'5".
Yeah, he was tall.
But he had a heart of gold.
Yes.
He had a heart of gold. Very, very good brother. The Tree was the kind of guy that he would say, whatever I got, you got.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever I got, you got. Tree knew that I wanted to learn the industry more and meet more people. So Tree would call me and he'd be like, yo, Lex, come right now to Queens. And I'm like, you're in Staten Island. He like, I don't know how you're going to figure it out, but Sean Paul and his manager here. I'm like, hold on, I'll be right there.
you remember when he used to work with Sharon Brown?
Yeah. So, you know, the first time I met Sean Paul in person and his manager was also through Tree Reed. You know, Tree is the one that made me had a beautiful interaction with Sprague Benz. A couple of years ago, Sprague Benz did an interview with thisis50.com. And that came by way of me. Tree called me one day and was like, yo, Lex, I see you working with thisis50.com. I seen you, bring a couple of people to the show. I got Sprague Benz in town right now. You think it's possible we could get him on the show last minute? I said, come on, bring him in. So the day that Sprague Benz came on, Uncle Murder, the rapper that's now signed to G Unit, Uncle Murder from East New York was in the studios that day getting interviewed. So that's how him and Sprague Benz met that day. And Sprague Benz joined the interview and then they interviewed him separately. It was a very, very dope moment for reggae history to see such a authentic reggae artist on thisis50.com.
That was good.
Because you know, when it comes to mainstream outlets, they don't really get like them real authentic reggae artists. You know what I mean? They get the commercial artists. So to have a Sprague Benz, which you know, Sprague Benz is the man in the 90s. Sprague Benz is before Killer.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Sprague Benz put in a lot of work, man. A lot of work. So, you know, from meeting all these people, good dude, man. Good dude. So from meeting all these people, and then just in general knowing a lot of people, man, I made some amazing connections, man. And then a couple of years later, I decided to kind of leave tracing or following behind Tanya, because I didn't really have my foot all the way in the door of VP. I was kind of dependent upon her, and I got a little tired of it. No disrespect to her, but I just got a little tired of it. I wanted my own lane, and that's what I did. I flew out to Miami, and I met a reggae artist that was working with Rick Ross. His name is Magazine. At that time, he didn't have any real management, and he didn't really have, a unique direction in terms of where his music was going. So I sat him down and I said, listen, in order for you to bust, Rick Ross has to create a new division within Maybach Music Group. And I said, we need to call it Maybach Jamaica. So if you go online right now, if you go on YouTube and you type in Maybach Jamaica, you can see when Rick Ross went on 106 in Park, the interviewers, Roxy asked him, she said, Rick Ross, I'm dying to hear about your new artist, Meek Mill. I'm dying to hear about Wale. But before we go into that, there's a big buzz in New York City right now that you're creating a new label called Maybach Jamaica. Tell us about that. And that's when Rick Ross says, shout out to Maybach Jamaica and shout out to the magazine. He is the future of reggae music. And what I'm letting you know is I'm the one that founded Maybach Jamaica.
Wow.
Right? So, the idea was we would take the big engine of a major label to push a reggae artist, right? Because at that time, Rick Ross was about to be signed to Warner. He still had a contract with Def Jam, but Todd Mosowitz from Warner was about to take him over, buy out the rest of, whatever he owed with Def Jam. So I'm saying to them, I said, listen, we need to go under the umbrella of Warner Music, but under the division of Maybach Jamaica. Needless to say, it didn't work out. But watch what came from it. Because all the while I'm starting to create a buzz between Miami and New York City with Maybach Jamaica, Mavado, the reggae artist, is watching.
Yeah.
His manager, Julian, at that time was very good friends with Johnny Wonder. And me and Johnny Wonder is talking, and Johnny Wonder would inbox me and be like, yo, tell me more about this Maybach Jamaica thing. And I would put him on. And Johnny, all right, whatever. like he listening, but he ain't really listening, right? He don't really see it. So finally, I get on the phone with Mavado's manager, which is Julian. And I'm on the phone with Julian at the time, another white guy. And I'm explaining to Julian the concept of Maybach Jamaica. And I'm telling him that if a reggae artist really wants to get seen out there internationally, they have to begin to break their way into the hip hop market and go under the hip hop labels. And at this point, he was sold on it. But at that point, I had a fallout with Rick Ross's Artist magazine. So Maybach Jamaica crumbled, and I left Miami, no longer went back and forth, so I lost the contact. But what happens 2 months after I introduced the idea to Mavado and his manager? He gets signed by DJ Khaled to a poppin' hip-hop label. So the very idea that I spearheaded, they capitalized on.
Wow.
Right? So this is a lot of history.
Yeah.
This is a lot of history, man. The year is about 2012 now, 2011, 2012. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, I was really going through a low point in my life. I had a lot of issues going on in my personal life. And I'm looking around at so many people that I know were seeing so much success. It started to get to me personally. So I kind of faded away from the music industry. And that's when I began to re-embrace my Israelite identity, because for a long time, I had ran away from my Israelite identity, right? I went back in the streets, as we say. I wasn't following, what I know I should have been following. So at this point, I'm having children. I'm beginning a family, right? My daughters are about 3 and 4 years old, and my son was just born. So it's at this stage in my life between the year 2012 and 2013 that I'm realizing that I really got to make a change for the better. I got to chill. So it's at that point that I meet Sarnetta.
Yes.
I meet Sarnetta because a brother named Nasi Yashuvel had just debated Sarah Sutanseti. And this was the first time anybody ever said that a Hebrew beat somebody that was a top scholar from the Kemetic conscious community.
Yes.
And this was held at
National Black Theater.
125th, the National Black Theater. That's right. And it was
there.
deep that day. Remember, it was deep.
Yes.
The Hebrews, we came in with a bunch of drums. It
Word.
was heavy.
It was deep.
And it was a very, very tough debate because there was some personal remarks made on both sides that made it like nobody knew what was going to really happen. You know what I mean? It was tense.
It was tight.
But you know, to the grace of the Almighty, it turned out to be a beautiful event. No violence, right?
Yeah,
no
I think
violence.
the drums calmed it down, man. The drum energy calmed us down, calmed that whole thing down because it could have went left.
Could have went left, man.
Could have went real deeply left. And before you move on, I just want to remind everybody that we're here with Zion LEXX. Our brother is here. Of course, you just heard the musical history. There's much more, of course, behind all that. But since we're getting into the religion and spirituality, we want to tap in. I just want to make sure y'all support our brother. Just remember, of course, you can spread love via his Cash App at $, Zion LEXX, or his PayPal, ZionLex at Gmail. Don't forget, he does museum tour. He's a museum tour guide and public speaker, and of course, celebrity mentor, and also a published author. So make sure you go on his website and lock in and get those books, get his books and get his information, or take his classes. He got classes on there, and you can go through Linktree, and that's Linktree/Zion LEXX. Now, Empress, now we're going into the spiritual aspect of it. Please ask him some questions on that so we can get it in and talk to our brother. Please go ahead.
Yes, Zion. I love that you have a lot of history. You're dropping names. I love that. That was really cool. You know, that was very informative, letting us know what's going on out there, what had happened. That's a world that I wasn't a part of like that. So it's pretty good to hear different people's experiences and things like that. As far as the spiritual aspect of it, what really like at the age of 14, why did you decide to go into becoming an Israelite? Like, what made you do that, and how did your parents take to it?
Well, I identified with the idea of being an Israelite because, you know, of the Rastafarian influence, right? My father is a Rastafarian, right? I have uncles who are Rastafarian, right? So there was a strong Rastafarian influence already present in the family base, you know. And then again, coming up in cultural Brooklyn, deeply cultural Brooklyn, there are strong Caribbean Rastafarian roots. So even though I didn't fully understand what an Israelite was, I kind of got a glimpse of what it is from the Rastafarian world, right? So it made the transition that much easier. Right, so I have friends who are the same age as me, and they were born. They were born Israelites. Their parents been practicing since the 1960s, early 60s.
Oh.
So when I buck up on them, or when I met, you know, when I linked up with them, I came to their house and they had some plaques on the wall with Hebrew writing, and I'm like, yo, what's that? And they like, that's an African language. And I'm like, I knew y'all was African. Y'all dress weird. Because they would always come to school in cultural garments. They would come to school with dashikis. This is the by this time, this is the 90s where everybody's wearing Carl Kanai and baggy jeans. And they got on Star David and dashikis and long braids. So I'm like, these guys don't really fit in right now. So, you know, he explained to me that the Hebrew language is a part of the culture and traditional speech of Africa. Because as I now know as an adult, there are many languages spoken in Africa today, of which Hebrew, biblical Hebrew, is related to. So, you know, so go ahead.
No, I was just saying, that's amazing. I never knew that it had a connection like that.
Oh yeah. So, you know, even now, as a teacher of the Medu Neter or the hieroglyphs, I can see for myself the grammatic, syntactical, and morphological connection that exists between the African Medu Neter as well as the biblical Hebrew. I can see that now that I teach it. So having said that, you know, meeting these guys had a deep impression upon me because we both came from the same part of Brooklyn. Yet we both moved to this new place called Staten Island, right? And then to see them practicing a culture with deep African roots, that really impressed me, because at that time we had our own personal issues going on in the home, right? And we didn't have much cultural practice. So there was kind of a void there that their ear, their knowledge, their message began to fill within me. And I began to go with them to the temple. And from the first time I went to their temple, I was hooked. We talking in the 90s, off of like Rutland Road, there was a temple called Beth Ab Shalom, which is the house of the Father of Peace. The house of the Father of Peace. That was on East 93rd, East 93rd and Rutland Road, right?
I remember.
From there, I went to a temple called Shema Israel, which is located 297 Saratoga, and it's still there. Now, what's interesting about this temple is, you see, me being like a roughneck Caribbean from Flatbush, this temple here stood out to me most because this was the gangster Israelites.
Yeah.
Like, these guys was like, they wasn't like the suit and tie Israelites that I know, right? I have no affiliation with the Israelite groups that you guys know on the streets. Those guys are called ISPK.
I wanted to ask that question because there's a lot of differences going on. But go ahead, please.
Yes. So there's a group called ISUPK, which is the group which is mainly responsible for popularizing the Hebrew movement, right? Because of the fact that initially they were the only group that would take to the streets with the message. But I come from teachers who are much older in the tradition. There's a guy named Rabbi Matthews and Rabbi Ford, who were both part of the UNIA with Marcus Garvey, personal friends of Marcus Garvey, and they were Black Jews. When you go to the Schomburg Museum, you can go to the second floor and you can ask for the personal archives of Rabbi Matthews, a Black rabbi in Harlem from 1919 all the way till 1982 or 83 when he died. Man lived a long time, all right? So watch this. When you go through his personal archives, you're going to see a lot of UNIA stuff because he was part of the UNIA and actually held rank.
Right.
And then Rabbi Ford, another Black Jew, he wrote the charter for the UNIA, which would essentially be their laws on how they conduct their business or their organization. He also was their choir leader, and he also was the person who suggested to Marcus Garvey, when Marcus Garvey first came to Harlem, he would call and refer to Black people as Negroes. But the Black Jew, Rabbi Ford, who identified himself with the Ethiopian Jews in Ethiopia, he said to Marcus Garvey, I think you should start calling us Ethiopians. And that's when you begin to see Marcus kind of shift the message and incorporate a lot of the biblical undertone in his message. It was because of the influence of a lot of the Israelites that were in his ears, the Black Jews of Harlem, right? So that's the lineage that I come from, right? They go all the way back to 1919. ISUPK is a group that was started in 1969. So you know what that makes them? It makes them the babies of the Israelite movement, right? And most of you know them not to have the best behavior because like babies, you could expect that the little one's going to be acting up, right?
Right. So hold on one second, brother Zion. Now, now this is a younger ISUPK. ISUPK is a younger affiliation. Now, what was One West? Was One West from where your lineage was, or no?
Yes, One West is where you get the name ISUPK for. One West, yes. One West is the original location for the group known as ISUPK. But if I could give you their lineage, they started with a guy that they call Abba Bibbins. But we know him in the Black Jew community as Rabbi Bibbins. They took away the term rabbi because naturally so, they felt that that was too European associating.
Okay.
So they, they took that off and they called him Father or Abba Bibbins. But we always knew him as Rabbi Bibbins.
So also that's the connection that they have to y'all.
That's the connection. He came from the Black Jew movement in Harlem. And then he broke off from them and he founded what's called the Israeli Tanakh School. So here's some history. I never even gave this to Sarnetta. The oldest name for One West ISUPK is the Israeli Tanakh School.
Is this all documented, my brother? Is this all documented?
This is all documented. I can actually take you on blackjews.org, blackjews.org, where you can go into the bio and you can see all of the lineage that I'm giving you right now of all of these groups.
You don't mind me posting that website up, right?
Please do. Blackjews with an S.org.
.org. Okay, I'm gonna put that up. If anybody want to do their own research, family, by all means, I'm gonna put it up right now so people can see that, because it's all about researching and studying and learning for your own and choose what path you want to go. Blackjews.org. Okay, so if you want to find out now, if everybody is following the Torah or the Injil or whatever part of the scriptures, why is there so much disunity in a lot of these camps?
Well, it's the same reason why you have disunity among Christians who all follow the same book. It's the same reason why you have disunity or disparaging views for Muslims, right? One thing I think we all have to realize is any written text is subject to ambiguity. I'm going to say that again. Any written text is subject to ambiguity. And what that means is we could all be reading the same book, but you're your own man, you're your own woman, you're going to see your own thing.
Right.
That's true.
Right? The way that the human mind, the way that we process information, we internalize it through the way that our psyche behaves. We internalize it throughout the way that our mind, discerns information. So no two people, even if they're reading the same thing, will have the exact same eye view. It's no different than, some of the greatest grandmaster teachers in our communities of old, the Dr. Benz and the John Henry Clarks. What a lot of people may not know is that they actually disagreed about a lot of things behind closed doors.
Yes, they did. Right.
But the operative word there that my generation can learn from is behind closed doors.
Exactly. Behind closed doors. That's right.
Because there's an African proverb that says when two brothers fight, a stranger comes to disinherit them. Right? So, that's part of my lineage, coming into the community. Now, you mentioned David Levy earlier.
My good friend,
That's interesting. Because when you mentioned my bio, you saw that my Hebrew name differs from the name you know me by, right? Like when I author books, all of my books say Avdiel Ben Levi or Ben Levi, right? Which my name Avdiel is the Hebrew equivalent to the Arabic Abdul. They both mean servant of Allah. Abdullah, servant of Allah. Abdiel, servant of El, servant of God, right? And then my surname is Levy, right? I share that with David Levy because guess what, my brother? David Levy, when he came to America, when he came to New York, he lived with a Black Jew family, Rabbi Shlomo Ben Levi. And that's where he adopted the name Levi. That is not his original name. He adopted it from the Black Jew family that he stayed with.
Wow.
If you go online right now, you could see that we celebrated 100 years of Israelite awakening. We had our centennial. And who do you think our host was?
David Levy. Of course, David Levy.
David Levy. So that's an interesting history.
No. That's interesting because I know David came from Barbados and through England and all that, but and I know he had embraced the Hebrew culture. I've known him for umpteen years from underground. We used to be there together. I was there with him. From when Shabba first came and all of those the great artists. I've even been escorted up there and did my thing back in the day. So, I'm happy for that connection, and I'm glad you gave that connection. And what I also I want to find out, and I want the audience, please thumb up and like this video. Please share the video because he's giving us some pertinent information. I want to bring a certain unity because I know you got Hebrew Israelites and you got Muslims coming from the same father, Ibrahim.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why is this still a disparaging thing? Why is this still a separation if we come from the same, or if they come from the same father, Islam and Hebrew Israelite?
It's a great point that you're making, and I want to give you again another revelation.
Yes,
that
sir.
separation only exists with those splinter groups which come from the One West ISUPK. They're the ones that go out and teach that Islam is bogus and that Muslims are fake and that it's all made up. But the original Black Jews of Harlem, the community that I come from, we embrace our Muslims and as our brothers, and we validate their stories. When you look at our experience during the Moorish period, you had Black Jews and you had Black Muslims, and I hate using those terms because the only true Muslim is a man of color. And the only true Jew is a man of color, right? But my point is to stress that both of these groups always had harmony. But now there's a new phenomena that comes with these, again, One West ISUPK groups, where they began the teaching of splitting apart and saying that the Quran is bad or that Muslims is bad. But I want to let you know something, brother. I speak at Muslim mosques. I speak in the Moorish temple.
Yes, sir.
I have lectures online on YouTube in Moorish temple speaking. So I have great respect not only for Islam, but for my Moorish and my Muslim brothers as well.
Yes. And, Empress, do you have a question? Also, before you ask the question, I remember Dr. Khalid used to try to break those barriers because he knew some of the main heads of these Hebrew Israelite camps and these Islamic camps. And that was my teacher when I was in the Nation of Islam with the Minister Louis Farrakhan, who also tried to break barriers and try to find some type of unification. But it's been a hard road, brother, since I've been in those communities. And I was in the Ansar Allah communities. Dr. Yorkie, Imam Isa used to I was in Nubian Islamic Hebrews. I was in the community. I'm not one of the people that was outside. I've been inside these communities. It's not like I was outside in them, knowing the leaders, like I can talk to you, knowing them like that. So, I've been in the struggle for a while, trying to always keep a certain unified ground. As you know, I don't try to get into any of the troubles and none of the drama and none of the debates. That's just not my heart. I want to see us work together because at the end of the day, when whoever attacks us, they attacking all of us for what this is and what we are. And we just need to understand and develop a certain unified force and unified front. Now, Empress Aisha, if you have a question, please share it, please.
Yes. This is a lot to digest. And yeah, it is. And you know what? It's because I do wonder how do we unify as a people when there's so many differences in belief systems. And because so much of our history has been tampered with, it's difficult for certain individuals to grasp and to hold on to any type of traditions, or what I would say, like the Quran or the Bible. Like, so what about the Bible of today's time? Is the Bible of today's time relevant compared to to what you study as far as the Israelites and how, I don't know, the Torah or what the book is called per se, that the Israelites study from. So my question is, like, for Christians, how do Muslims and Christian, how do we put it all together? Because it's always feel like there's a connection, like Brother King Simon, you was just saying, and there's also this grand disconnection.
Mhm.
And I'm just kind of like at a loss right now, because I'm like, okay, I don't believe that Jesus is real. That's my personal thing. I don't believe Jesus is real, but I don't know. But because there's so much going on, there's so many differences, I don't know what to believe in. I just know that all I believe in is that there's a Most High, and that we're here for a purpose, and that each of us have our own unique way of connecting with the Most High, and that there is no religion. The only true religion to me is just listening to your inner voice, but that may not be the case.
Mm.
So, like, how do you know for sure when certain things, and in the American Bibles, is, if they make Jesus and certain prophets seem like an allegory, like they were just something, just a figure, just something, like they connected, like, for example, they connect Isa or Jesus to the sun. They said he's really the sun. He's not a person. And all the zodiacs, and the 12 disciples are really the zodiacs. And so it's like, how much is that is true? And like, I don't get it. Just help me figure. Just please help
Okay,
me.
I'm gonna definitely help you. I'm gonna answer your questions in reverse order. You first spoke of how can the different groups work together? Muslims, Christians, Hebrews,
Mhm.
people of the Kemetic faith, right?
Mhm.
And I say the Garvey way, right? The Garvey way. Garvey said, "One God, one aim, one destiny."
Mhm.
Regardless of who we call God or the Most High, we all believe that there is a greater power that exists outside of us, of which we also partake of. So we are that
Right.
God that we are looking for as well, right? And the way that we achieve unity is not to focus on the fickle differences, right? My dad used to always say to me, great minds see commonality while small minds see differences, right? I'm able to sit in the community with grandmaster teachers of many different faiths, even though normally people like us would be at odds. However, our mind is in a much greater space. So we don't need to talk about, converse, or be worried or concerned about that which divides, right? Or pushes us further apart, right? But the thing about having a great mind is that a great mind, the first thing that it focuses on are the things that we have in common, right? What are those morals? What are those principles? What are those virtues that bind Black people and the human experience moreover, so that we can have a healthy social existence with one another in this realm that we're calling Earth or physical existence, right? How do we achieve that? The first
Right.
way that we achieve that is that we first understand that there is a moral code that we all should follow, right? And it doesn't matter that you have 30 more uh, chapters in your moral code and this person has 30 less. All we need to know is that you have morality, because morality must be at the base of any organizing. Because can you imagine talking about building economically with people who have no moral fiber? So the
No.
thing that is prerequisite for us to have unity and to unify is, in the words of Marcus Garvey, one God, one aim, one destiny, right? So that's the easiest part of your question, right? The other parts to your question
Okay.
is a little bit more complex, right? You asked the question, is the Bible even relevant today? To which I say to you, I'm troubled by that question. And I know that you may not just be asking the question for your own sake, but you, as an interviewer, you're representing the opinions of a global audience. So you are speaking for the masses, because you know that there's a great deal of people who have that question. Is the Bible relevant? So I have to say to you, that to me it's sad hearing it, but I will address it by saying this to you. Not only is it relevant, but if you are astute in its foundational story, you would know that it is a custodian of African spirituality. Hence why Dr. John Henry Clarke says, do not throw away the Bible. And he tells you that the stories in the Bible are a custodian, as it were, gatekeepers, as it were, preserving African spirituality, right? So the Bible, in its right knowledge, is perfectly about African spirituality. But if you're looking at it through a Eurocentric lens, then yes, I'm going to say to you, my sister, it is completely irrelevant for us. That's why we need to find our African spectacles when we are looking at African stories.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Right?
That makes sense.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And,
And
because I was really curious. Because, no, okay, go ahead.
if I could add this last point.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned that you're in doubt of whether or not Jesus existed. And I want to tell you something. Usually when a person says that they follow or believe in the Bible, what is usually a given for most is that Jesus comes with it. I want to remind you that I'm a Black Jew. And if you know anything about Jews, we reject Jesus. However, even though I came into a community that only followed the Old Testament and rejected the very notion that Jesus walked the earth, today I am no longer of that opinion because of my advanced studies. For instance, when you speak of someone being historical, right, one of the ways that we're able to, see them in the annals of history is not simply to look for a coffin and a body, because there's a lot of people in history that we don't have coffins or bodies for. In fact, the first 3 dynasties in Egypt, it's very hard to find coffins and bodies. But we know for a fact that those pharaohs, those kings, they lived and that they existed because we have so many inscriptions contemporary with them, recordation, people speaking about them in the era that they live in. So watch where things get interesting. To doubt that Jesus existed is very problematic because he is the most spoken about person in his era in history. There are more people speaking of him historically, contemporary with him, than any other figure that ever lived. So it becomes extremely problematic. Now, the question now is, accepting that he existed doesn't mean that you have to accept the stories told about him. Because I'm going to tell you right now, while I accept that Jesus, the historical Black man Jesus, lived and walked the earth, I will tell you that I deny most of the stories that are told about him in the Bible. So there's a difference between believing that someone who was usually regarded as mythical, there's a difference in believing that they existed versus also having to integrate everything said about them, right? So I believe that he existed, but that belief does not necessitate that I must accept everything told about him.
So there is a difference between his historical Jesus and revelatory Jesus, revelations that was revealed about him.
That's right. That's right. In fact, there's a book entitled The Historical Jesus and the Mythical Jesus.
And the mythical, yes, I know, yes. No, right. Makes sense.
Okay. And then the reason why I think for us as Black people, why his story is so impactful, remember, if you're familiar with the core details of his story, right? He is the archetype for supreme knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the greatest Black men to have ever walked the earth, which is why you find so many parallels of his story throughout the ages before he is even born, because the story is archetypical of the supreme knowledge and wisdom of our African ancestors, and he's just the latest version of it.
Just the latest version.
Not only should we, not be so fast to throw it away, But you have to kind of stop, look, and consider the bigger picture, which is that he is the latest version of an African story that has been retold several times. Why would you want to separate yourself from that? White America has accepted his story. His story is that there is a black man that is coming to bring redemption to the world. Even if I don't believe in Jesus, I can tell you as a real black man, I want to hear more about that story.
Right. Those that are just tuning in, we got brother Zion Lex. We got brother Zion Lex in the building. That's just want to make sure y'all thumb up and like the video. Remember Zion Lex, I know, and make sure you go to his website zionlex.com. That's zionlex.com, and don't forget Linktree/Zion Lex. Remember to support him on PayPal. That's zionlex@gmail. Use that email, and don't forget Cash App is working. $Zion Lex. Make sure you spread love via that. And when are your museum tours again, brother? You got any more museum tours coming up?
Oh, yeah. So I got a museum tour coming up in another 2 weeks on a Sunday. I'll be going through the museums once again. This is going to be my 33rd tour, which is highly significant, that number 33 in terms of degrees, right?
Of course. Yes, it is.
It's going to be my 33rd tour, of which I'm very happy about that. And I'm not sure if you've ever seen my videos when I go through the museums, but I'm a very thorough investigator, right? There's not a single archive that I'm not dealing with or scrutinizing throughout the annals of history, right? One of the things I love to highlight about going into these museums is when you go into the Egyptian exhibit in the Metropolitan Museum here in New York City, the moment you walk in there, it's extremely dark. And they have a lot of beautiful images of the pharaohs, the queens, the nobles, and the everyday people, right? You can see some of the earliest textiles, architecture, writing, ideas of spirituality. You can see them in Egypt. But then you got to walk all the way across the hall to get into the Africa exhibit. To which I'm not the smartest man out here, but I got just one question. Why does the museum separate Egypt from Africa? Why do I have to walk damn near a mile in the museum to get to Africa, leaving Egypt?
You know why.
We all know why. Because it's psychological.
Yep.
And here is where it gets equally interesting. Just before you get to the Hall of Africana, after you leave Egypt, just before you get there, you have to walk through Greece. Now, here's what happens when you walk through Greece. There are big lights above your head in the ceiling in Greece. Right? You have ceiling lights, which are open with windows where natural sunlight is coming in. You have man-made light, and you have natural light. You have white marble floors, and you have fountains.
Right.
Psychologically, what do we think is occurring here? There's something called color psychology. Your mind already associates certain ideas with various colors.
That's right.
A dark room, your mind automatically thinks it's unsafe because it takes your eyes a while to adjust. If you're in a party in a bad neighborhood and the lights is off, you know that while the physical lights may have went off, the lights in your mind is all the way on because you want to make sure that everything is okay tonight. Right?
Exactly.
So there's a certain energy, as it were, vibration and thought that's attracted and associated and comes with color. And this is done purposefully. When you walk into Greece, you're feeling the intrusion of light. So your mind equates that with enlightenment.
Enlightenment, right.
There are books everywhere. When you go to Africa, it's so dark, you need night vision to go through that part of the exhibit. And the first images that you encounter are archaic images of West African mask, spirit mask, right? Which look to the naked eye, to someone unfamiliar with African history, it looks intimidating.
Mhm.
It looks outdated.
Intimidate,
It
fright.
looks barbaric. It looks like witchcraft. But when you have your correct African lens on, you know that the spirit mass is one of the most powerful ways of manipulating the spiritual realm of which surrounds us at all times. Because our ancestors would put on this mask, and through it, they had power, energy, and control over the spirit realm. Right? When they engaged their enemies in war, there was a certain mask that they would wear. When there's a woman in the community who is fertile, who is having a baby, there's a certain ceremonial mask that they would wear. All of these different types of masks in West Africa represent different ways that our African ancestors showed us that we could manipulate spiritual phenomena that exist around us at all times. Now, after that beautiful explanation, what the hell is so intimidating about that?
It just, Zion, it just goes to show you that we have to build our own museums and stop letting these people do our museum and curate our museum for us. That's all. We just got to stop doing that, where we can accentuate the beauty and the glory of our history compared to Greece, because we know they all stole everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, now, you know, there's been a lot of disparaging remarks about in the past. You know, you've been in the debate scene, you've seen it, about our elders, the Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, the Sheikh Anta Diop. I have his books, Chancellor Williams, everybody's books. Have everybody's books up here, and I've studied a lot over the years, and I kept my mouth shut because I just want to study, and then whoever I got to teach, like my children, and give them guidance. They know what to do and how to take my books and move forward with it. Sankofa. So do you believe that we are adding on appropriately and really revering and respecting what our elders laid down, like the Ivan Van Sertima's and the rest of them? Or have we denigrated it and destroyed it, and we're trying to just destroy it and then try to rebuild it again? What's happening here? Because there's a lot of disrespect of these elders, and it's not a good look.
Absolutely. So here's how I'm going to answer your question.
Yes, sir.
They say when an African elder passes, a library goes with them.
That's right. That's
right. And on top of that, most of us don't got a library card to begin with.
Right.
Right. Meaning that those of us, when the ancestors were around, we weren't checking for them anyway.
I do.
No library card. So many people. So what I'm trying to now get to, though, is our ancestors, they fought a battle which is different than the battle that we have today, right? The world changes, right, drastically about every 20 years, right? The education advancements 20 years ago is different from today. The technological advancements is vastly different than what we have today, right? What our ancestors were fighting yesterday is still fundamentally the same fight that we have today, but it's uniquely different at different ports and stations, right? And the thing is, we were supposed to take the baton that they passed us, because they did pass a baton. The baton represents the knowledge that they worked so hard to curate, preserve, and transmit to us. And the idea when a baton is passed is that the person in receipt of the baton is supposed to take it and go further. But what happened with us? You ever watched a relay race on TV and somebody passed the baton and then the goddamn baton drops and we lost the race?
Yes, I see it.
Well, I'm trying to answer your question. That's what's happening right now. We have dropped the baton. We have not respected the fight that our ancestors fought. We have not respected the strides that they've made. We haven't even respected the information that we shared, because so many new people are coming out and doing YouTube expose videos to expose the misinformation they say the ancestors have. That's not how it works. If the ancestors got something wrong, then it's your job to go back and perform Sankofa. Go
That's right.
back into the past, make the necessary adjustments, bring it into the future present, and propel the culture further.
That's right.
But how
Exactly.
dare we think we're going to do a diss video to Dr. Sheikh Anti-Geo to say that he was pseudo? This is what's happening in the, it's tough for me to say this, so I could only say it one way, the unconscious community.
Yes, please say it that way.
Right? We are working backwards, hustling backwards. These men were real men who knew enough to know if we have differences, those differences are best settled behind closed doors, because dare I let the enemy see what your weakness is, dare I let the enemy see what your weakness is, and how dare you let our common enemy see what my weakness is.
And you know, Zion, which is interesting you say that, because I remember listening to an old cassette with Ivan Van Sertima, and he said him and Sheck and all of them had to sneak cameras in to museums and other places to get pictures, or they would have been confiscated or locked up. Things that they had to do to get into these places. And when they had to confront the Egyptian council to let them know that these people were black esophagus, those are black men and women that they're digging up. They had to battle with them tooth and nail. Sheikh Anta Diop, Ivan Van Sertima. These brothers did their battles. J.A. Rogers was a part of the team. These brothers did battle.
That's right.
During Jim Crow and damn, they're coming out of slavery.
That's right.
People not respecting that history, to the point that even Jamaica don't even know that J.A. Rogers was a Jamaican.
Ain't that something?
From the grill.
Ain't that something?
They don't even know the history. They know Marcus. They know, and it's all good. Nani and Cujo and all that is good. I mean, and even Ivan Van Sertima from out of Guyana speaking about going into the forests of Guyana and finding certain and had to go, the stuff that they had to go through. They traveled and paid to go to Egypt and Africa to go do these research, Ethiopia to do this research, and we have the nerve to disrespect. Some of us can't even translate French into English. It was Baba Jeffries and the rest of the crew and the Raketi Amen that helped to translate some of this man's books.
That's a fact.
Check Anta Diop. And we have the nerve to disrespect them instead of adding on. I checked on all my elders. I mean, I checked on Queen of Four the other day. I checked on Ashwa Kwesi. I checked on Baba Smalls. I check on all of these guys just to make sure, because they're the next generation that's going to go.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
They're the next. So, that's right. You know, you're absolutely right. And I'm appalled. That's why I don't get into the battles. You know, when Sanada hired me to go and do promotion, that's all I do. I'm not getting into the arguments. I'm like John Henry Clark. I do not debate. I teach. I ain't got no time for debating.
Powerful.
I don't have time for that debating stuff. So, but I love what you're doing, man. I've been watching you. I remember when you used to be very hostile. I remember when you and Sarah Seti in the Airbnb that I rented out. Y'all almost went at it till they had to call me. Man. So they had to call me, the owners, because he's a black-owned doctor that owned that place, and the people that lived there or that was working there heard the noise, and they had to call me. But I've watched your growth, and I can respect the growth, and I have to say that, because I was kind of scared of you, scared of what you was doing back in the day. But I was like, okay, let me sit back, lay back, and analyze people, because that's what I do, right? and feel people out, because I've been in various communities since I was 14, from the 5% nation to the Rasta community, all of because I grew up in a Rasta family, half Rasta, half Christian family. So I've been following and being part of these groups. So I check out what people are doing, and I admire what you've been doing with. You sat down with Professor Smalls, you sat down with people like Mfundishi, you sat down with certain elders, and I can respect that, because you're at least trying to have an olive branch out there. And I like the olive branch from the youth to the elders. It's about that olive branch, man. And I got to commend you. I got to commend you. all respect is due. I got to give you a round of applause for that. Hold on one second. I got to give you an official round of applause. My applause button just started working again, and hopefully, look at this darn. Oh, see now my computer messing up. Why this computer always want to mess up?
I got you. I got you. Here we go.
You got your ring. All right, ring that for me. There you go. Thank you very much. My darn computer wants to mess up, but it's all. Let me reset this thing. But before we leave out, Empress, do you have any questions for the brother before we let him go?
Yes, Zion. How do you see the unity between the sisters and the brothers? Do you see us coming together more? Or do you see like how do you see us growing as a people and as family with so many homes that seem to be like single parents and things like that? I don't see a lot of marriages going on as much as I used to back in the days. So what do you feel about when it comes to the unity between the brothers and the sisters?
I don't think it's really going to genuinely or feasibly happen until we both begin to respect one another's positions, right? And begin to truly see each other as co-equals, right? We are different halves of a purely divine whole, right? And there's no half that's greater than the other, right? The reason why we have, number one, such a poor experience of dealing with each other is in part because of how much we allow the system to dictate our social conditions, right? What they came in and did with us in the 70s, right? With the whole welfare system, while it had its benefits for some families, it had a very devastating effect on the Black family structure, because the government said in order for you to get this assistance, that nigga can't be in the house. Mm-hmm. And that was the secret to it all. The secret to allowing Black women to function, right? To have clothes on their children back, food in the fridge, and a shelter. They said, the government said, we'll give it all to you, which you doing nothing. But he can't be in the home because the design was to use this to destroy the Black family structure, because we can't unite and do anything if there's no Black family structure. Look behind every great white man, and who will you see? His white woman and family. Look behind a lot of our great Black men and women today, and who do you rarely see? Their family. So in order for us to defeat the system, we must first give the system back to the system. We have to become our own entrepreneurs. We have to investigate how do we begin to feed each other. And I'm not saying this because it sounds good. I just really mean it. We have to figure out a plan where we know if things go left, we know how to survive. We have to figure out a way to make money without having to depend upon the system to be employed, which, remember, COVID gave us a template for that, because a lot of our people became great entrepreneurs during COVID. So COVID brought a curse with a great blessing, because it showed us that we could exist outside of the matrix. It showed us that this whole time we had everything it takes to function outside the matrix. So now, as they slowly try to integrate us back into the matrix, we have to close the door on it and continue forward laterally in this new direction. Autonomy. We are not going to achieve a well-rounded, well-founded, and even good-sounding Black family structure where we're able to come together first as a family, then as a community, and lastly as a nation, until we first rid ourselves of the shackles and chains that connect us to the same system that has our destruction at heart.
Okay.
Powerful. You're absolutely right, my brother.
I like
that. That's basically all in a nutshell, brother. That's powerful. I think I found an applause button for that. Okay, there he goes. All right, okay, my brother. Before I let you go, do you want to shout out anything? Any up and coming classes? What you got coming up? Everything else? Can they go to the website and see it? What you want to shout out, my brother?
All right, thank you very much. So you can find me on Facebook as Zion LEXX with 2 X's. You can find me on Instagram at I am Zion Lion. You can find me on Instagram also as ZionLex. My email is zionlex@gmail.com. I
What's up,
teach
bro?
biblical Hebrew, Aramaic, and now the Medu Neter, the hieroglyphs. I conduct museum tours. My books are published on Amazon as well as Barnes and Nobles. And my best-selling book is entitled Matriarchs of the Covenant, where I speak words of empowerment to the sisterhood. That's my bestseller on Barnes and Nobles and Amazon. The book that I made directly empowering the sisterhood to let her know, don't let someone open that Bible and tell you that the snake, with his mythological anyway, went to the Eve because she's a wicked woman. Because somebody who actually knows the Bible, like yours truly, will tell you that the reason why the snake went to Eve and not man is not because she was the weaker of the two, but because she was in fact the stronger of the two. It's only in the physical realm that the strong prey on the weak. Mythologically speaking, the aspects of the story which are mythological are representative of high supreme spiritual forces. So they're not looking to prey upon the weak. Their challenge is someone equally strong and powerful. So he does not approach man, and a lot of brothers not going to like this because you ain't fit. But he approached Eve because she was stronger.
And that's in your new book too, right? One of your books
That's
on
in my
Amazon.
book,
Right?
Matriarchs of the Covenant, my bestseller.
They can find it through your website, your link tree, and
You can
everything.
find it right on my website, zionlex.com. I have a whole section on there that says books. Every book is listed, and I also have video reviews on my books up.
Okay. All right. My brother, I appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. Want to thank you very much for coming through. Honor, gotta do this again, brother. Another light on another time, you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm gonna try to make it to one of your tours. I'm very very happy to know that you give tours. I never knew that. There's a brother
definitely
in the museum, at the Harlem Museum, giving a tour.
Yes. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much for coming through, my brother. Thank you very much, brother. Definitely.
You are so very welcome. Thank you guys for having me.
Peace. Hotep, shalom, all of that. Good, beautiful. My brother ZionLex, man.
Yeah, go to the museum and check out that tour.
Yeah, man. Go to his website, family. He got classes on Medu Neter. He got classes on Hebrew. He got the Hebrew classes. If you want to learn, sometimes you got to remember that when you learn your language, remember that's the first thing they took away from us, because when you take away your language, you're taking away culture. And that's why if you watch movies like Roots, they always trying to turn Kunta Kinte into Toby.
Yes.
Because Kunta Kinte was a royal name. And that's what he respected. My name is Kunta Kinte. Because it's the Kente cloth. We know it's enough of royalty. And then so he's not Toby. We're not Toby like. So we need to go back to that royalty and usually through language, whether it's the Medu Neter, whether it's the Hebrew language, whether it's the Arabia Fusha, whether it's Nuwapu, whatever language that resonates with your heart chakra and all of your organs. That's the language you speak, and that's what we need to learn, because that's where that guttural energy, because when we speak, even when we say "Chaim," we say it from the back of the throat, and that's when you're talking to the different organs and you're spewing. Just like when you say Amen and Amun and Amin, when you hear certain chants, it's talking to your soul and your energy, especially if it's coming from the darker hue nation. That's why I told you last time, Empress, that in Sudan, some of the best Quranic reciters was from Sudan, not from the other Arab countries. Those brothers and sisters that understood Fusha, Arabic Fusha, was important. So there's classical Hebrew, there's classical Arabic, there's ancient Hebrew, there's ancient Arabic, there's of course Medu Neter and other ancient languages. Just go back to study language and you will get your culture back. I love and respect y'all. Anything you want to say, beautiful? I know you enjoyed the show yourself. I love the questions. That was great.
Yes, I loved it. And I do want to say, regardless of my belief and disbelief or whatever my position is in my spiritual, journey, is that I do respect everybody. I respect everyone's belief systems. There's I just see that there's one common denominator, and that's just belief, having faith. There's a creator.
Right.
That's beautiful. I remember going to church, with my aunt, and they had a family church, in Alabama, and it was beautiful. The experience was beautiful. I remember going to the masjid. It was beautiful. I
Hmm.
remember going to certain spiritual, with what was it, with Hindus, and
Right.
it just Hinduism and different things. So I mean, there's everyone has their belief system, but I just, regardless of what I believe in, I just want you all to know that I respect everyone's belief system. So I don't want no one to feel a certain way, to feel like, I don't respect their belief system.
Yeah, no, 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 don't, nobody feels the way you're on your you're on your journey just like everybody else, darling. And then everybody got to understand journeys. You got to be on your journey. It's just like you and your mother is not on the same journey. Me
No,
and my mother is not on the same journey, but you still respect and love her because that's the womb you came from, and you came. I can't. I love my mother, but I'm not on her journey. I'm not love my father, but that's his Christian journey is his Christian journey because whatever makes a person better, let them stay there. If they're not going to elevate and go on, that's their business. So I learned that over the years. In my 54 years and young being on this earth, I learned that. And that's one thing I learned. You can't really fight with other people's journey because everybody is not on your journey. And
my grandmother, yes, my
yes.
grandmother, my grandmother on my father's side, because of the situations that she went through back in the days, and she had to drop out of school to take care of the family, things like that. Her last grade, was third grade, so her reading level was not up to par according to how the system is, but her belief system was top notch. And no matter what, she sat down and read her Bible. And I remember
Mhm.
my grandmother sitting there, on the porch reading her Bible, faithfully, but so I seen people, and I know that people's Bibles, their belief system in Jesus and Allah and what, Buddhism, whatever, it's like it holds them. It gives them something, a sense of guidance, and that's what we all need. Me growing up, I had Islam, and also experiencing my Christian side of the family. It was everyone's. It's just all beautiful. I love it all. I love it. I love it all because it just gives you. It just lets you just see that the Most High communicates in many forms, in many ways. How the Most High speaks to me. The Most High gonna speak to someone else differently, but at the end of the day, the Most High is still speaking. That's all that matters at the end of the day to me.
Exactly.
We all have a conversation.
Hey, everybody got our own individual conversation as
We
long as
all
it's
have
leading us,
conversations.
as long as it's leading us to the right path. In our father, in the father and mother's house, there's many mansions. You're right, many mansions. Don't worry. Some rooms ain't gonna be clean. Some mansions ain't gonna be nice and neat.
Yeah,
That's one thing I learned. Some mansions ain't gonna be nice and neat. I know that, but it is what it is.
it's
You
all
know.
love.
Let's
But
get ready.
Brother Zion was great. He's very,
Yes,
very
yes,
knowledgeable.
yes, yes. Very good. You did a great job.
And Lex is wonderful. Yes.
I don't know what happened to my applause button. I gotta fix some computers. It's all right. I just did a whole.
It's okay.
It is all right. I have to use this little applause.
Oh, that was good. It sounds good. It sounds good.
Okay. Thank
It
you,
does.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But let's get ready to close out. Just want to remind everybody tomorrow before I head on out of town, we're gonna be doing this person right here. We bringing this person in tomorrow, the entrepreneur and transformational coach, the transformation coach. Sacred Sister, what a beauty. You're gonna love her. She got such a good spirit. When I first met her, great spirit, very entrepreneur spirit. I love her energy. And she brought me on stage last time just to give them a taste when I was out there in Georgia. And I gave them a taste and they wanted me back. So I'll be in Georgia speaking because of her and Blue Pill. I'll be speaking at this event right here, the Altar Candy. And big up to her, big up to Shaw, big up to Amber, big up to Jersey, big up to Blue Pill. I will be one of the featured speakers at the Altar Candy. So we're going to bring some Numerovational Altar Candy. It's going to be sweet too, ladies. It's going to be sweet, brothers. Y'all going to love this candies. We got some good candy coming. You know what I'm saying? And let's big up my sister, Better Health Shop. Big up to Better Health Shop. Oh, they doing so well. Big up to them. Thank y'all for the support. They've been telling me about the support. Make sure you go to the website. They got burdock root. They got, of course, the sea moss. They got some nice monatomic gold and colloidal silver. They got DE that I forgot how you say it, but it's a good herb for detoxing. It's a good herb for plants and planting your crops and everything. So make sure you go to their website or give them a call. You can text them at that number too, 1-800-820-7822. That's 1-800-820-7822. And let's go to our sister here. Her products right here. Talk about your products, girl. You playing. Talk about it. Talk about it.
Yes. I'm so happy because I'm currently in the groove right now.
Woo!
I got back in my groove last night. I'm so happy.
Woo!
You know, they're coming. I'm making them now. They're coming. And at this point, you know, it took a while to get here, but I'm so grateful. So just check me out on Wamillion Adornments. So it's going to be Wamillion_Adornments on Instagram. Check me out on Instagram. Hit me up. What I would do, since there's no current shop right now, what I would do is send you photos of what I currently have. And you can decide based on what I have, if you know what you like, and that's how we work it. And also, you know, you could just, you know, ask me what colors, you know, you want. Tell me the colors you want. I am currently in the groove now. So happy. I'm so happy. So happy. Now it's back now. I'm back.
Oh man, you about to let me sing the Marvin Gaye song, that whole grooving, baby. We grooving, baby.
Took a while to get here.
Took a while. Make sure y'all email her some Cash App love, and also hit her up at Wamillion_Adornment. Make sure you hit her up, and don't forget you can email her also. Don't forget my products, my books. Also, make sure you get my books. Go to go to the link tree. The link tree is popping, is on and popping, people. Thank y'all very much for supporting so far and going to the link tree and subscribing to all my websites and all that kind of stuff. Believe me, I am seeing you. If I'm not responding, don't worry. I've been working and I just finished off the course. I did 5 hours straight today of this course and it's all completed. So it will be uploaded and it will be for sale. The 9-piece course is like a 9-piece vegetarian meal, girl. It's going to be off the hook. I would have said 9-piece chicken, but I said some people don't eat chicken. So I want to make sure everybody all right. Big up to my son who was in the chat. Big up to Prince Imagine. He was in the chat. He was there shouting out Zion Legs. Big up to you, sir. Thank you very much for tuning in. That's my firstborn. He's doing the thing. Big up to him and his mama and the whole family over there in the Carolinas. Make sure y'all go to his website. He got other new music coming out. I understand he's doing a whole album in Espanol. Man, mira que pasa, vente. He's bringing out the Cuban side of him because my father's side is a Cuban Jamaican side. And my grandmother, my uncle, my grand uncle, and my other aunties was born in Cuba on my father's side. I interviewed my father the other day. When I tell you, Aisha, you need to interview your mama and just find out her history and record it. Believe me, it brings tears to my eyes, the stuff my father was dropping. And I got another part 2 to do with him. And I'm saving it because I know he's getting older and it's one day he's got to go. But I want to know, I'm going to talk about all the children on there and their mothers and all that. And you know, the ups and downs, the twos and the fros. But, you know, it was very touching listening to my father and his strong Jamaican language and accent and saying what he was saying and all the stuff that he was talking about. It's some history and I really enjoyed it. But moving right along, let's go to our beautiful sister Janelle. Janelle Lewis, make sure you buy. She's a licensed real estate and salesperson and consultant. Make sure you give her a call or text if you want to buy some property or learn how to buy property. 347 49 I'm about to give my number. 347-866-1153. 347-866-1153. My youngest is coming over, so that's why I can't wait. So tomorrow I got to deal with him. Big up to Lloyd Strayhorn. Big up to Lloyd Strayhorn, my dear brother, all the time. Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. I spoke about him in the midst of my classes because it was him that really finalized the deal for me to pursue this numerology stuff from 1989. So he's the one that really helped me finalize the deal on mathematics and how to apply this numerovational mathematics that I have created for myself. This is the course. So if you want to buy the course, the 9-piece course of 30 minutes each, it's 9-piece, nine different segments, 30 minutes or a little bit more each. It's you got to email me at the numerovator@gmail. That's the numerovator@gmail. You can see the email right here on the page. Also support pedalwise.com. Pedalwise.com. Great stuff. Great womb sweeper, womb cleanser. They got steaming. They got things for fibroids. They got stuff for breast cancer, all types of stuff, all types of herbs. And she not only deals with African herbs, she deals with Chinese, ancient Chinese medicine also. So she blends the two and gives you a whole. She does consultation. So if you want to do consultation with her, please contact her via the email. And don't forget, you can go to the website. And if you want to pay for the products, this is how you can do it. 10% off with the coupon code. 10% off with the coupon code. That's King 2021. 10% off with the coupon code. And tell them King Simon sent you when you do the consultation with them. And last but not least, you want to do a consultation with me? I do have a list going into July. For appointments, please text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022 for this special advertisement rate. And remember, if you apply these mathematics, it will help you and it will guide you. And last but not least, content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guests, speakers, or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. You ready for the prayer, beautiful?
Yes.
Prayer time. Nobody parties to prayer time, but we gotta party.
Yes.
Big up to Delbert Blair. He's the one that actually came up with his prayers over 30 years ago. And this is his website to support his legacy. That's the metacenter2.com, the metacenter2.com. Buy his books, buy his Faraday equipment, buy all the magnets for healing and all that. Delbert Blair was deep into magnets. So big up to Dr. Delbert Blair. I love him. Respect him. And let's go for the prayer. Go ahead, beautiful. Prayer time.
All right, family, give thanks, everyone. Much love to everyone. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Here we go. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now.
You know who to say it to, the people in the back.
Okay, family, once more, let's do this collectively. You know, we are more powerful together. So here we go. Please, universal creator, know in our hearts that we love you. Please protect us and this planet on which we live now. Please open our minds, our spirits, and our souls to receive only truth in your love now. Give thanks.
Yes, thank you very much, beautiful. Give her a round of applause for this. Okay, you can hear that. As long as that can work, it's not that long, but it is what it is. I got this little computer stuff there, this little gadget. I got even gunshots. Oh, I got bing, bing, bing. I got gunshots. I got all kinds of stuff. I can't use too many of those things. I got giggles. I got kisses. I got kisses. There's a kiss. Oh, there it goes. I got laughter. I got all kinds of stuff in here. There's a little box that I bought. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of attached. It's already attached, but you can't see it. But
that's fine.
Sound effects. But thank you very much, beautiful, for being a part of the journey, and of course, doing what you do all the time. And please give the children, the young people, a big group hug, and include your mama when you see her too. They'll give her a group hug, okay?
As soon as she get back in town, I'll do that.
All right, dear. We'll talk. All right.
Okay. Peace.
All right. Take care. See you tomorrow. Yes. That's my dear Empress Aisha Amor. Okay, family. Gotta get on out of here. Take a step to the rear and get on out of here. Take a step to the rear and get on out of here. Yeah. Take a step to the rear and get out of here. Take a step to the rear and get out of here. Take a step to the rear and get out of here. All right, family. All right. I want to thank, of course, the one, the only Zion LEXX that was here with us. Give him a round of applause once again. Make sure you support my brother. Support Zion LEXX with all the knowledge and wisdom he got. Hit him up at zionlex@gmail.com. Also, that's his PayPal account. Don't forget, Cash App is $Zion LEXX. Remember, he's a published author, celebrity mentor, and he is a museum tour guide. So he can tour you through that museum about history. And he's a public speaker. So if you want to book him, make sure you email him or hit him up through his website. That's zionlex.com, zionlex.com. If you want to hit everything, Linktree/Zion LEXX. Enough respect to my brother who came on and showed us that love. Thank you, Zion. Want to remind y'all again, tomorrow, we got the one, the only, secret in the building, her beautiful self. And don't forget, we got a inspirational speaker coming in next Wednesday while I'm out of town. And we're going to have Alicia Dowie, who's going to be in the building. And she's out of Florida. And I can't wait to have her on. Dear sister that I actually met today, but her story was so great. I had to say, look, I can put you on. Let's make it out. And I told her, look, Google me, check me out. You'll know that I'm a real deal. So we're going to have a motivational speaker on. And don't forget, I will be Numerovation. I will be numerating everybody at the Altar Candy coming up on the 27th of June from 3 to 7 p.m. I'll have my books. I'll be there. All right? One love, one aim, one destiny. Stay focused, stay strong, and like Dr. Khaled says, up you mighty nation. No, Marcus Garvey said, up you mighty nation, you can accomplish what you will. Dr. Khaled said, regardless of land, label, or language, there's but one creative force, one God. We out of here. Peace!
Movement presents the 2021 Miami Reggae Festival, healing the community with sound system culture. Saturday, August 7th and Sunday, August 8th, featuring from Germany, Warrior Sound International, the Immortal King Champion Sound from Kingston, Jamaica, Stola, Brooklyn's Champion Sound, King Addies International, from New York, the Champion Sound, Soul Supreme, from Jamaica, way out in the country, it's Bass Odyssey, Downbeat the Ruler from New York City, Poison Dart from Tampa, and the Miami Ruler for years, King Waggy T, the Sound of the Future, Adonai, On Track Disco, DJ Rocksteady, and many more. Hosted by dub poet icon Motoruka at the 2021 Miami Reggae Festival, celebrating Jamaica's Independence Weekend. Saturday, August 7th and Sunday, August 8th at the brand new RER Marketplace next to the Opalaka Flea Market. Tickets start at $25. For more info, visit MiamiReggaeFestival.com or call 305-900-5523. Celebrate Jamaica's independence and sound system culture at the 2021 Miami Reggae Festival.
this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovation. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for mental stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now.